What is up? It is Coach Morris, aka your favorite youth pastor, once again with another video. We've kind of finished, or we're going to head in a new direction of our church stuff, question and answers, and go to misbeliefs or uncommon views or common views of the church. It'll make more sense here in a second, but so I got about 5 questions or 5 miscommon beliefs that we're going to answer and discuss. And we're going to discuss and talk about. But a couple things real quick. Congo Road Baptist Youth, we will start meeting on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock here at the church. We'll probably be outside somewhere under a shady spot, and we'll get to meet together once again as a youth group. So please, if you're a Congo Road parent, a youth, or if your child is a youth and you would like them to start getting back into the routine of church, please feel welcome to come to Congo Road Baptist. We will follow the guidelines of social distancing and the guidelines of COVID-19 as the governor states and stuff like that. We'll, at least, at the most, you at least have to wear a mask to church. Once we get into our spots where the seats will be 6 feet apart, you'll probably be able to have the safety to take them off. But me and Brother Jeff, we're still kind of working on all the details as that. But starting probably next week, Sunday nights at 6 o'clock, the youth will finally get to meet again. I'm excited. I'm excited just to be able to see you guys, to be able to talk to you guys, to be able to fellowship and communicate and just be together as a community and unity. Which leads me to this Sunday night. This Sunday night, I'll actually be preaching here at Congo Road Baptist at 6 o'clock. So as far as anybody goes, if you would like to come, feel free to come. It'll be at 6 o'clock. If not, I'll probably be doing a Facebook Live or some kind of social media live. That way you can watch and you can participate that way as well. So those are 2 big exciting things. I'll be preaching. Woo! And then also the youth will be able to have a chance to meet again regularly on Sunday nights. Shout out to one of my youth, Leah. Happy birthday. I hope it's a great one. I hope I'll be able to see you tonight. If not, that's cool. Enjoy your day. And so let's get into it. So miscommon beliefs of the church. One of the first questions we're going to be talking about is, you can get to heaven by being a good person. That is a very miscommon belief or thought of church-going people or people who know about the church, that or even different religions will go as far as saying, as long as you're a good person, your reward will be heaven. As long as you do good things, your reward will be this or that. And that's certainly not true by no means, at least not biblically. So in Ephesians, I'm sorry, I got my Bible here. So in Ephesians 2 verses 8, it talks about that. It talks about how we are saved. Oh goodness. We are saved by grace, or grace by faith, which I'll explain in Ephesians 2:8. By the way, Ephesians 2, just the chapter itself, amazing, or just the book of Ephesians. If you need somewhere to start studying or start growing in your faith, it's a good way or a good start. So Ephesians 2:8 says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, that it's not of your own doing, but is the gift of God." So being a good person, doing everything on your own, is not able or will not be enough to be able to save you and go to heaven. It is by grace, which grace is something, grace and mercy kind of go together hand in hand. But grace is that unmerited favor, or it's that favor that, you deserve something, but you don't get it because they have grace on you. They have mercy on you. So if something you deserve, you're not getting because of grace. For by grace you have been saved through faith. So faith is putting your trust. Faith is putting a belief in something. Like, you have faith every time you sit down on a chair, in a seat. You have faith that that chair, that seat is going to hold you up. Whether you have to think about it or subconsciously, you have faith in that it's going to hold you up. So in the same faith, in the same way that you subconsciously just do it, it's the same faith that you have in Jesus Christ, if not more, that you know that Jesus Christ is going to have your back. So it's for by grace you have been saved through faith, that it's not of your own doing, but it is a gift of God. And then verse 9 even goes further. It says, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. So then it's just reiterating that it's nothing that you can do to be saved. It doesn't matter how many good deeds. It doesn't matter how many old ladies you walk across the street. It's by grace through faith alone, and it's God's gift to you. It's God's free gift to you that you will receive heaven. Another miscommon belief or saying of the church is the Lord won't give you more than you can handle. There's truth in that, but there's also a lie in it as well. And to explain, some scriptures are 1 Peter 5:10, James 1:12, and Romans 12:12. Meaning, these verses are more or less saying that you will suffer, that you will go through a lot more than you can handle, so that you have a choice. And that choice is for you to reflect on God and for you to ask for God's help. So will the Lord give you more to handle? Yes. Let's consider Job. In the book of Job, we found out Job loses everything he has. He loses his kids, he loses his livestock, he loses his house. And for you to say that is not more than enough to handle, I would dare to say you would be a fool. Because that is a lot to handle. And to say that is not more than you can handle, that's probably more than I can handle. If I lose everything I have, that's a lot. I have a lot of junk. But anyways, to lose it all, they say that the Lord won't give me more than I can handle. I think he gave, obviously we know the story of Job, he gave him that because he knew that he would return to God, that he would have to look back to God. Another example is Paul and the disciples. Like, he gave them trials and tribulations to be tested, to see what they could handle, or to see what they would do, whether they would run from God or run to God to seek his help. So the Lord won't give you more than you can handle is a yes or no question. He's always going to provide a way, and that way is going to be him. But because of his free will, because of his sovereignty, he's going to let you have the decision to choose what you do in and through that situation. Everything happens for a reason. Yes and no. Everything does happen for a reason. The decisions you make, whether they're good or bad, they have consequences. So when you make a decision, the consequence happens for that reason. Whether you save money and you get to buy a house, that is a decision. That's a consequence. That's something that happened for a reason. There's a good saying when we play. What's the saying? When you play stupid games, you get stupid rewards, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. And that's because your actions have consequences. And then everything happens for a reason. It's also God's testing you. Whether you lose a loved one, you lose a loved one, you make a bad grade, something like that. That is God's testing you, or that's God putting you through a test to see what you're gonna do. So, does everything happen for a reason? Yes and no. Just it depends on the situation, and it depends on God's will in your life and through and in that situation at that time, and at God's timing as well. If it doesn't hurt anyone else, it is okay. This is more like the younger generations ideology or thinking, even though older people do this as well. If no one sees it, if no one talks about it, if no one is watching me do it, it's okay. And that's not true. 1 John 1:8 talks about that. Romans 6:23 talks about, for the wages of sin is death, And sin equals sin, no matter what it is. Whether everybody's watching you or whether no one's watching you, sin is sin. And it's not okay. The last thing, real quick, is hate the sin, not the sinner. This is a lot. A lot of people say this, and I think there's two sides of it. In Romans 3:23, and it talks about sin as well, and just a food for thought. If we are humans, are sinners, so humans, we sin. If sin is a part of who we are, how can we hate the sin without hating the sinner? Meaning, me and you, we are sinners. How am I supposed to hate the sin if you're a sinner and that sin is a part of you? I don't know if that's a right thing to say, but I said it anyways. Yes, I believe that we need to condone and judge sin for what it is. You need to correct sin with love and compassion like Jesus would, without necessarily offending the person who did it, or without driving that person away from Christ. It's probably a better way to put that. So you can just like a father or a mother who disciplines their children out of love and out of wanting better for them, we as Christians, we need to discipline ourselves, not only ourselves but we need to discipline others, but not only ourselves. That way, when it's time for correction, when it's time for rebuking, when it's time for a life change, we can do that out of love and respect for that person. So to hate the sin, not the sinner, is, yes, you can hate the sin, but we need to show love and compassion through that, in a sense. And that's just a food for thought. As we are humans, we are sinners, so that as humans we sin. If sinners was part of us and who we are, how can we hate the sin without the sinner? And that's just a food for thought. That's for you to start thinking, get your mind going, kind of deal. But anyways, this wraps up our common beliefs or church sayings that are not particularly truly biblical, in a sense. I don't know. There's more questions to be answered as we're going to start continuing in this series. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys, if you have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to tag me or send me a message. Love you guys.